Alrighty. In today's lesson, we are going to be doing more on converting between forms, but this time we are also going to integrate graphs. So for number 1, 2, and 3, notice how I give you the graphs, and we want to go from vertex form, standard form, and factored form of this graph right here. Well, vertex form is going to be the easiest here because remember, vertex form is just finding my vertex. So I got to figure out what that is, and then putting it in x minus h squared plus k form. So my vertex here for number 1, that is going to be, let's see, -1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So -9. So -1, -9. This tells me that my vertex is x minus -1 square minus 9, or of course, x plus 1 square minus 9. That is vertex form. Now, you'll also notice that for 1, 2, and 3, that your standard form is, not standard, your factored form is also going to be easy because remember that your factored form are going to be your zeros. So notice how I have a 0 right here and I have a 0 right here. I have a 0 at +2 and I have a 0 at -4. So zeros at -2 and +2 and -4. +2 and -4. Okay, now because these are my zeros, we need to think what's the opposite of +2 and what's the opposite of -4. The opposite of +2 is -2, so I'm going to have x minus 2 here, and the opposite of -4 is going to be a +4, so I'm going to have a +4 right here. That way, whenever we set this equal to 0, I'm going to get 2, and if I set this equal to 0, I'm going to get -4. So I have that as my factored form. Now, standard form. You can either go from vertex to standard or factor to standard. That's why it's in the middle. Whether you do vertex to standard or factor to standard, I don't really care. I think that going from factor to standard is going to be more easier because you're not going to be subtracting 9 right here. So I'm going to go from factor to standard here. So here, I'm going to go ahead and make my little box. And my little box is going to have x minus 2 and x plus 4. And remember, at this point, we're going to multiply the cells. So x squared minus 2x, +4x, minus 8. I am going to go ahead and simplify my diagonals. That's going to give me x squared plus 2x minus 8. So that right there, of course, don't forget to put the y equals. That right there is going to give me my standard form of the parabola that was graphed. Of course, once again, you could always double, triple check your work by putting factored form, standard form, and vertex form into the calculator on Desmos and see if all 3 of them match up. If all 3 parabolas match up, then you know that my vertex form, my standard form, and my factored form are all the same and we're good. If they do not, then something's wrong. All right, let's go ahead and do, let's say, number 2. And I'm going to leave number 3 for you guys to do. So for number 2 here, I am going to look at my vertex right here, and I got to figure out what that is right there. So this tells me I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go right 7 and then down 1. So my vertex is right 7, down 1. This tells me that I have x minus 7 squared minus 1. Because remember, your formula for vertex form is x minus h squared plus k. In this case, I'm going to go right 7 and then down 1. You'll also notice that your zeros right here for your factored form are pretty close to each other. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So your zeros here are 6 and 8. Six, 0, and 8, 0. Now remember, you got to think, what's the opposite of 6 and what's the opposite of 8? So x minus 6 and x minus 8. This right here is going to give us my factored form. Last, my standard form, that is me putting or going from factored to standard. So what I have here is x minus 6 and x minus 8. And I'm just going to multiply this and see what I get. Now remember, once I do that, I am going to go ahead and simplify my diagonals, combine my like terms, and that's going to give me x squared minus 14x plus 48 for this one right here. All right. Now, what I want you guys to do is problem number 3 and see if you can do this on your own. In the next video, we are going to do these problems together where I give you the vertex form and you guys need to go from vertex to standard, vertex to factor, and then we are also going to graph it. So that's also a good review on graphing.